4-lobe knob found on the positive flow and many stay-right pumps and motors, etc. And if you've worked with this, you know that if you get in a hurry, you wind up offering up a lot of involuntary blood donations, and that was what was happening with me. And it took me a while, but I finally came up with an answer. And this is my first socket. Is Rudy still talking? Okay. This is my little MT50. It's a quad cavity. It's got a very funky little geometry. Works on any 3 or 4 lobe knob, and it has a brass insert for securing and strengthening the inside core for a 3/8 drive, a drill bit and a drill, or a 3/8 socket wrench if you're using it that way. Basically, if you're using a drill, you just attach it to the bit. You'll notice that there's a little yellow and black ID strip with funny symbols on it. Those symbols represent all of the knobs that the socket works on. So you just take the symbol that's appropriate to the knob you're working with and slide that symbol onto the nearest lobe and let the drill do the rest. It's really that easy. Once you go to put it back on, give it a little shot to make sure you're not cross-threaded, and then take it home. Now that basically is the multi-torque socket principle. Now, when I introduced the MT50 at the Orlando Pool Show in 2007, I also introduced 2 of its brothers. This is my MTJ770. This is a 2-sided polycarbonate socket with a brass insert. It has a B side and an A side. You probably know already what they're for. The B side is for the old Stay-Right System 3 filtration system. It's a 2 1/4 inch knob, and it just slides right into that B side geometry. The A side is for Pentair's new 3-inch knob. It just slides right in like so. Now, a few years back, Pentair decided that they were going to change the lands and grooves in that 3-inch knob, and as a consequence, I had to retool the socket, so it now works on both. There's an inside geometry and an outside geometry. We are going to be making this socket for quite a while until someone tells us that there are no more Stay-Right System 3 2 1/4 inch knobs on the planet, and at that point this will cease and desist, and we will take up the slack with our stainless steel system, but more on that in a minute. The third member of the initial trio is my MT100. This is aluminum. It has a 9/16 end and a 7/8 end. The 9/16 works on the old funky Hayward Swim Clear Pro Grid or any 9/16 Hex Nut out there in the field, any one of them. The other end is a 7/8. It works on all of the big boys that have the 7/8 Hex Nut holding the clamp assembly together. The 9/16 end also fits or works, accepts what I call the connector nut on the old positive flow band, usually found at the bottom. The next socket I brought about was what I call my heater plug socket. This was a suggestion by a heater guy. He did work, but he suggested this, and this is starting to come online and popular with a lot of heater people. It works on both the small or smaller Maxitherm MaxiTemp, I think it's called Thermo Regulator plug, right there. It also works on the Unitherm governor plug that goes on the Raypak heater. So that's the HPS 200 heater plug socket. A cousin to the MT100 is what I call my MT100H. Not too far back, Hayward came out with a new series of filters. One is the Swim Clear, and the other is called well, the name escapes me now, but people were coming to me complaining that the MT100 no longer fit the filter band. Sure enough, Hayward had changed the size of the hex nut. This is a 3/4 inch nut, so I now make an aluminum socket that accepts the 3/4 inch nut for the Hayward Swim Clear series. And the other end is a slotted situation for wing nuts. It works on just about any wing nuts out there. It works on the wing nuts on some of the DE filters. And if you happen to have any that you haven't donated to the Smithsonian, it also fits on the Harmsco filter wing nut situation. Rocket socket. This is my little MT225. It has a nose cone shape, and it very quickly slips onto the belt for most A&A, quick clean, caretaker, pool valet, clamp knob control valves over by the side of the pool. It just slips right on. Now, if you don't have a drill with you, no problem. You can just slip a screwdriver in to torque it loose, and then you can take the whole thing off by hand. Very easy, very quick. It also has fins, 4 tail fins, that fit down on the Jocelyn wall plug, if you have any of those that you have to work with. Also, using the same deal with the screwdriver, you can just crack it loose and then twist it off by hand, you're good to go. This is my original button hook drain plug wrench. This is originally it was in aluminum. We anodized it blue. We have since then graduated to stainless steel. Somebody came to me and suggested that I make a socket because sometimes the handle got in the way. There just wasn't enough room for it. So, lo and behold, the drain plug junior, the button hook junior as we call it, it's got the same inside geometry as the wrench, but it gets to a lot of places that the drain plug wrench, the DPW50, just won't get to. In other words, I'm sure a lot of you have seen yourself in this situation, or with the Stay Right System 3, you know how hard that is to get to. With the socket, basically, you could just get up under just about any challenging spatial situation and ratchet that plug right out. This is my little 250, MT250. Again, the button hook does have a special slot in it for the F&S Plus drain plug, as it's called. But I decided to go ahead and make it a little easier by making it an individual socket. This is basically a 7/8 hex nut. So this is KW-212, affectionately known in the pool world as Chlorinator. This is a Chlorinator. This is what I call the travel mode. The handle is locked in this position. If you rotate it 180 degrees, it locks into place and becomes the tool. These two tabs right here on top will slide over the Hayward CL200 Chlorinator cover, like so. There are two slots you will notice in front of the two tabs, and they slide right down over the Rainbow 300 320 series, just like that. This chamber right here works on so much equipment I can't get it all on the table, but just to give you a brief overview, it works on the Duraglass lid, it works on the WaterPro or WaterCo lid. This is an Australian lid. It also works on valves, control valves. It also works on 1.5 and 2-inch ball valves, like so. If you've got one that's really stiff and stubborn and won't turn by hand. It also works in situations where you may have a wing that's completely broken off, because the Chlorinator captures it back here in the broad part of the body, so it will still rotate it even though you may have half of it missing. You'll notice there are two prongs on the Chlorinator. One is stationary, it's screwed in place, and one adjusts. You can't see it really well here in the light, but there's an engraved arrow and there are two embossed circles on the body. If you rotate the arrow and line it up with the smaller circle, it captures the locking ring on the pumps, I should say. If you rotate it around to the larger one, I'll pick this up to give you a better idea. It captures the locking ring on the Pentair Whisper Flow here and here, so you can rotate it out like so. It also worked the Hayward Star Clear knob, and let's see, it also works on the Challenger pump lid, and I almost forgot, it also works on Hayward's little CL100 lid. We are retiring the MT100, the polycarbonate, the MT50, and it's being replaced by our stainless steel version. This also works in the same way, the same equipment, the same hardware that the polycarbonate does. It's just a lot more durable, and we don't have to bother with the ID. This will be part of the 301. Now, you will notice this is our, I won't say original, but this is our existing MT301 value pack. It has the MTJ770 for the System 3. It has the MT100, which is our 9/16 and 7/8 hex. And it also now has the new MT50S stainless steel socket, because we, as I said, we've retired the polycarbonate version. Now next to it, we have what I call my MT301AM, or all metal. This is also available, but we also carry it in the polycarbonate version. The difference being, we can't defy the law of physics here. You cannot use it on the old one. So the option of having the old polycarbonate will still be available. In other words, we're still going to be making that socket for quite some time, because it is very popular, and there's still a number of old Stay-Right 2¼ knobs out there. My philosophy is money-saving kits, and so we do offer things in a kit. I talked about the button hook junior and the button hook itself. We do offer those in a money-saving kit, or you can buy them separately. We just try to save you some money that way. This is how the Chlorinator comes packaged. This is how the 100H. You can go to my website. That's multitorque.com, multi-tork.com, and watch all the videos there. They're all posted. I occasionally get an email or a phone call from someone wanting to know if they can buy from me direct. When I was first coming out with my products, anything I could do to ring the cash register, I was more than happy to make a sale. But over the years, I've established a distributor network, so I can no longer sell direct. On my website, there is a where to buy page, and you can see all of the distributors that I have that are now part of the Multi-Torque network. You can also tell them that I do not have a minimum order. My mission is just get the tool or tools into your hands, and so if your favorite distributor doesn't carry it or doesn't have it in stock, encourage them to call me, and they, like I said, they can order single, whatever you need. I talked about the button hook junior and my little MT250. Again, I like to sell things in kits. This will also save you some money if you buy those together. They're very useful products. We sell the MT50S by single, individually, or again with the value pack. Two items that I haven't really talked about so far that I'll cover right quickly. I make 2 sockets for commercial pump systems. This is my MT881, and this socket is for the Hayward HP high capacity pump. This is my little 501, and this is for the Pentair commercial series pump lid. It just fits right down over the knob, 4-lobe knob, again a 4-lobe knob situation. I think that's just about wraps it up. Again, I'd be more than happy to send anyone who's interested my 3-page PDF catalog. You can email me at pwlshrk757@msn.com. I'll be happy to email you back my catalog. You can look through it at your leisure. It's not a pricing catalog, it's just a tool catalog to give you an idea of what we have. Let's ride this out, and the best to everybody.